Coming at you live from DNHQ in beautiful South Pasadena, California. This is Blue Heaven Podcast. What's going on, Dodgers Nation? My name is Clint. You could find me as Real FRG on Twitter and Instagram.
You can come find him. That was a challenge.
Just come find me.
Please show up. We are at, we're not telling you.
Gave you a general location.
Yeah, guys, my name is Brook. You can find me at BrookMe3 on Twitter and Instagram. On today's show, we are back. Dodgers Padres 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yum, yum.
I don't know what else to call it. I don't know what else to call it. For some reason, Major League Baseball said, you know what, guys? Remember how you were really stressed out for 3 days over the last weekend?
Here's four more.
Here's 4 more. And let's start on Thursday.
Less than a week later. So, yeah, if you guys are celebrating Thirsty Thursday, crack one open with us. Because we out here, as is Cold Froze on YouTube. Thanks for hanging out with us. But we got a series preview. We chatted earlier today with ESPN play-by-play man, Mr. Jason Benetti. They are bringing a Statcast-driven version of the broadcast on Sunday, so we'll talk a little bit about that later on. There are Southpaw struggles. Once again, the Dodgers are doing that thing where they cannot hit left-handed pitching. Dig into a few of the numbers. Let's have a little bit of fun with that. And we wanted to talk about it on Monday. But there's just too much good stuff. Hashtag Toomgist, not a sponsor. But they want to disband the Dodgers, and there's a petition to do so. We're going to make fun of some people a little bit later on. But before we do get into all of that and all the fun, we got to remind you, this is a podcast. You can listen to us in your ears, and you don't have to watch us live and do all this extra bullshit. We are on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Grandma's House, all those kind of spots. So make sure you do hit subscribe. Subscribe on YouTube.com/DodgersNationTV. We'd be happy if you did that.
Look at that. It had a bell in it and everything.
The whole thing.
Above and beyond. Classy show, guys. Don't forget, guys, this is a live stream. We are here drinking beer. That rhymed. So don't forget to drop in the comments. Let us know where you're repping Dodger Nation tonight. Let us know where you're watching them take on the Padres, because we want to talk to you, because why not? I don't really want to talk about the Padres a lot because I'm tired from last week still.
Well, luckily, there's a decent break in between these series. I don't think they match up again until like late June or possibly in July or something like that. Yeah. So they kind of spaced them out, but they really front-loaded them here to probably try to get hashtag narrative going early in the season. We got Claudia and Raul in the stream, a shared account saying, fire Roberts, and D. Manny comes in and says, fire Roberts? Really?
The Dodgers have the best record in baseball. I don't really know. I don't know where to go with that. But it's right on brand for the Dodgers and Dodger fans in general. I love that.
Ari's in the stream, says hashtag road to repeat, and Dodgers versus don't care for their players. We got to talk a little bit about that probably. Let's be real. We're going to talk about the Padres.
We're going to talk about the Padres.
We don't have a choice. And we're going to do our best to piss off some Padres fans. So share with your Padres fans' friends. Let's get them in here. We do love when they're trying to troll the stream. It's just
they're down bad right now. They're down bad.
It's usually pretty cute to see. We got a cheers from MLG Chavez. Thank you for hanging out with us. Alyssa woke up for this.
Good morning. I wish I was sleeping, to be honest with you.
We've been here a while today, guys.
Look, I'm telling you, we're getting more and more on Twitch. It's a big deal. Things are happening. Jags over on Twitch just can't wait to get the Padres onto a 7-game losing streak. Yes, they got swept by the mighty Brewers this week, and they got it rough.
They're 1-5.
Padres got it rough. They got a lot going on. Like us, also going through a lot of injuries, but they shot themselves in the foot. That's the difference.
Yeah, that's where Cody Bellinger got stepped in the foot by some lumbering buffoon. That's his official name. We're going with that. We got Travis checking in from Salt Lake City, Utah. We got Rodney in Bedford, Indiana. We got Claire checking in from Montreal. So it's a little bit of Mr. and Mr. Northern America.
Northern Hemisphere.
Thereabout. Charles checking in from Whittier, where the girls are prettier, allegedly. That's where I will be after we're done with this stream. Let's dig into a couple more before we get in there. Javier asking about, what is this disband word you speak of? Oh, it's going to be funny. You got to wait till a bit later in the show, but it's going to be funny.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Polo on what is that one? Facebook. The F means Facebook. Says Padres fans equals clowns. Yeah, you know what? We like them, though. We like that.
We enjoy it. It's a lot of fun to laugh, have a little bit of fun.
JC Dodger Gonzalez on Facebook is checking in from Suck Diego. I get it, because there's an S.
I get it.
And why not?
I follow it. Joaquin checking in from the Bay Area, enemy territory. Joaquin, welcome. Thank you for being here.
We got Chandler, Arizona. We got a couple of South passes right here, because that's where we're at. All right. let's dive into it. You already said it. Dodgers versus Padres 2, Electric Boogaloo. They are at Dodger Stadium now this week. Some things going on. Baseball's going to happen. Get another series of good matchups, despite Alana Rizzo believing otherwise that there is no marquee matchups in this. There are 2, maybe 3 can be argued because you do got Musgrove and May on Sunday, which is going to be a fun series for people who like the modern game of the spin rate and all that kind of stuff. That's why you can watch it on Statcast, ESPN2 on Sunday. Tonight, we got Ryan Weathers going up against Walker Buehler. Rematch of Friday, and it's all rematches. You got, round 2 of Kirsch and you also got Snell and Bauer on Saturday. Yeah, what do you like? Let's try to be positive. What do you like about seeing these guys again for the second series?
Tim Rogers jumped into the chat and said, thinking about quitting DN and becoming a Padres team doctor. That's really, as it turns out, anybody can be a team doctor with the Padres. I think I saw somebody on Twitter earlier today. I don't remember who it was, so I can't give the credit to you, but someone say, I'm pretty sure the team doctor of the Padres is just AJ Preller on WebMD. So probably pretty accurate, to be honest with you. In terms of the matchups coming up this week, the Dodgers against left-handed pitching, that's something we'll talk about. Not good, and obviously we get piled on pretty quickly with Ryan Weathers, who's been super effective to start the year. The good news is him starting off the series kind of plays against the Padres a little bit because you got to know he's only going to go 2 to 3 innings. He's probably not going to go much longer than that. His last outing, the most pitches that he's thrown all season, and it was only 3 innings. So that's the good news. We'll get to the bullpen early. You'll hopefully get to work on those guys, hopefully wear them down over the course of 4 games. You would think by the 4th game their bullpen's going to be pretty depleted, but
their bullpen's already depleted.
It is as it is.
They lost. Surprise, surprise, everybody. You know what? Stop the presses here. Dinelson Lamet made his season debut and lasted only 28 pitches. It's like they don't listen to us about activating their players too soon.
Look, man, the Padres. Look, you guys know Padres fans came after us super heavy for saying that they shouldn't have activated Tatis. They shouldn't be activating Lamet. They're like, they're scared. 21. They're nervous. I don't care if you want to throw an injured dude out there. It's just going to help us in our favor. Obviously, it helped with Tatis. Okay, congratulations. He hit one solo shot that did absolutely nothing for your team. I legitimately want the best players to be on the field healthy. I don't care about matchups. I don't care about any of that. So for you guys to come at us and say, like, look at them, they don't want them on the field. I'm like, well, it's just going to help us win, but also it's going to ruin your entire season if you keep doing this. Really annoying, really upsetting, but we were right about it, as was literally the entire world of baseball aside from delusional Padres fans.
Yeah.
It happens. I get it.
Yeah, we are absolutely not quivering in our boots, whatever. We don't wear boots. This is California. Who wears boots?
Chanclas.
Freaks, that too. Brooke is a big-time Crocs kind of gal. But anyways.
They're so comfortable.
Go from there. But, like you said, 1 homer for Tatis. He's 3 for 21 since coming off the IL. Earlier today, Cody Bellinger talked about the injury. Obviously, it was pretty similar to what he had with the shoulder thing, and it's like, yeah, you can play through it. You feel a little funky, but I mean, watching Tatis for those 3 games, he definitely, you see a markedly different attack coming out of Fernando, and that's not his game.
Not at all. I will drop in and say that we have another Twitcher from Stockholm, Sweden. He says where the women are, and then just kind of trails off. And I think he had trouble rhyming, and then jumped in later, steaming, where the women are steaming. Sweden steaming. They kind of rhyme different. It's fine. Again, Mr. Worldwide.
I thought it was somebody like dropping into the stream saying, where the women at?
Yeah, that's a good one too.
We are not a dating service.
I also saw a couple Australians jump in. We are very popular in Australia. We got like 3 Australian watchers. Congrats to us. Michael over from Melbourne.
Let's do.
I don't know if I said Melbourne right because I don't know Australian English because that's a different language.
You're so cultured.
I am so cultured.
So, anyways, yeah. Despite all of the struggles, particularly for the Padres, the pitching is still solid all around. In the series, it's good. Dodgers, and you can check out more of this. I think it was Palma who wrote up a story about it, or no, Eric Ulo. I always get that backwards because weird name. Am I right? Check him out. 3 Up 3 Down podcast every Saturday or Sunday on Dodgers Nation YouTube. But Dodgers 3rd best starter ERA in baseball, 2.46 ERA. The Padres are in the 5th position, 2.53, but their best overall in team ERA, and that's all of baseball, 2.5. Dodgers rank 3rd, 2.77, but you know what? Dodgers have 14 wins. They lost 2 in a row, and it was a nightmare. It was just sell it all, trade everybody, fire Friedman. I get it, but
DFA Mookie.
you know, has it worse. Padres again, 1-5 since the Dodgers came to town. The bullpen is depleted because they lost Lamet. They had to throw a lot of pitchers in that reverse sweep, the opposite bad kind of sweep. And again, Tatis is not doing all that hot. Their bats are cooling down. The Dodgers bats aren't doing good either. They're pretty not great. I think they're batting like I think it's a 203 team batting average over the last 9-11 games, something like that. So not so hot. So it's kind of like a bend or break. Who's going to be the least worst in a way in this series?
Who's going to be the team to finally be like, okay, look, we're actually good at baseball. We should do the baseball. Yeah. Which you hope it's the Dodgers.
Notably, we talked about that on Monday. Or whenever the hell it was. It was not a very clean series on Monday or over the weekend.
Nope.
You had some bad defense. Some just overly. I think it was overall sloppy defense, and you would imagine they're going to try to tighten it up. It kind of continued into Seattle a little bit, but
very uncharacteristic from both teams, by the way. That's not something that they both do. We also have Yolanda checking in on Periscope from Mexico City. So again, I say we need to have shirts made up. I think we've been talking about this for a while. We haven't done it yet, but we should get them made up because we do have a lot. Yolanda, welcome from Mexico City. It's good to see you.
Did you get the Sweden in there? You got dark.
I got Sweden.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah. Where the girls are steaming.
Got you. Watch from Sweden. Where I get you. Rich Hills Blisters in the stream. Hell yeah. Welcome to Rich Hills Blister. We got Manny Porras saying Slump Diego and Roach saying hi, it me. Welcome to the stream, Roach. So we need to admit that we've tried to downplay it as much as we can because it just makes it that much more fun. It pisses Padres fans off with not acknowledging them, not considering this a rivalry. Let's be fair. It is. It's grown into that more. Still got a long way to go to be, Red Sox and Yankees of old, back when he was only like 2 in 2004 or whatever it was.
Back in Trot Nixon days.
Bless up. Rest in peace, Trot Nixon. But we spoke earlier with Jason. I was thinking of Matt Borelli. Jason Benetti was one of them internet boys. Yeah. Jason Benetti, who is a play-by-play man for, his full-time job is with the White Sox of Chicago. That's a place where they play. And funny enough, he replaced one of our good friends, Mr. Hawk Harrelson. Not a good friend of the show, but favorite guy of many baseball broadcasters. And we talked to him about the rivalry and kind of what's going on. He's coming out of from a perspective of that he has despite him wearing a blue sweater, he has no horse in this fight. He doesn't care who wins or loses. He just wants to see a good game. So we talked to him for a little while. The full clip is on our YouTube channel. Check out the full series preview and all that. But here's a bit from Mr. Jason about what's going on and what he's looking forward to with this, as Brook would call it, a rivalry.
You could argue this is the best the Padres and Dodgers rivalry has ever been. And I don't know how often you can say that about something in sports, but you kind of feel it building. And I actually think, there's a lot of talk about East Coast bias and everything that goes along with it. If the Padres and Dodgers are good together for a while, and I'm sure Dodger fans are skeptical that the Padres belong in the conversation, like, is it a rivalry? That's on the Dodgers' terms. I'm sure that's what Dodgers people might say.
Yep.
But to me, I'm very excited about the idea that these two teams are really good. And the Padres, right, they're 10-10 right now, but there's young talent. Like, this could be the heyday of a West Coast California-based rivalry. And I actually think we're kind of starved for that in Major League Baseball and somewhat in all of the major sports. So I actually love the global view of this series, and that excites me considering that both of these teams should be good for a while.
Yeah, you talk about, rivalries in sports and just in general in Major League Baseball. It doesn't really feel like there's been that head-to-head. These two teams are rivals. These two teams are also very good. You're talking about early 2000s to mid 2000s Red Sox Yankees. That's the pinnacle of Major League Baseball rivalry. And it doesn't feel like we've had that for a long time. And I know Dodgers fans, don't want to call it a rivalry. They don't want to acknowledge little brother. But it is fun, and it makes baseball way more. We've been in the, watching NOS baseball not be very good for a couple years now. We've gone through ebbs and flows of, the Diamondbacks are pretty good at one point and then kind of fall off. The Rockies are pretty good at one point and then fall off, but we've never had that consistent, or even the Giants. The Giants obviously very good, had that run of success. Not so much lately, but probably on the up and coming and having a pretty good year to start the season. But even with everything that's going on with the Padres and Dodgers this year, it still feels like that intensity is there. You have injuries, you have Cody Bellinger out, you have Gavin Lux out. Mookie's been going through some things and still has that thing where he got hit on the arm. You have, Fernando Tatis Jr., maybe arguably shouldn't be in the game, but also is in the game. Lamet, who knows what's going on him, Clev, Morahone, all these guys. And it still feels like, even without some of these like major stars, that it is a very exciting series.
I agree. And what you said, I think, jibes with my understanding of what sort of makes a good college basketball rivalry too. Michigan State and Michigan for years have had the little brother comment. I don't remember who it was who said it, but it was like 10 years ago. Somebody was, maybe even more recently than that, somebody was talking about big brother and little brother. And actually, now that I think about it, I think it was in the football version of the rivalry, but it's sort of ported to basketball. But you kind of have to have, and living in Chicago, I think I can speak to this specifically. Living in Chicago, there is a type of fan who's a White Sox fan and a type of fan who's a Cub fan. And there's got to be a little bit of that like push and pull socioeconomically or psychologically or whatever it is. Like what you're saying about the Padres and the fact that you guys nodded when I said what I said, like, you definitely believe that to the core. And that's what makes it good, right? If the Padres win, it's like, oh, they won once, right? Then that's the way the first series went, right? Like you grind it out in the extra inning one, you put up a 5 spot and you win, you win 11-6. And then like, oh, they won the last game, but who cares? Of course they won the last game. That's the way it goes, right? And then Padres fans are like, oh, we can't wait to show them.
Yeah. And
you would argue probably, who is a Padres fan, right? Like that, I have a feeling that might have been rolling around in your head too. But it's a good, like, I love that the Padres are getting good because honestly, like I've met a couple people who moved away from San Diego in their lives. And I'm like, what are you doing? You're nuts. Like, it's a great city. It's a great place to be. It's a great place to watch a game. Whatever you think of the Padres, Petco is a fantastic place to watch a game, I think. And so, but I think you have to have that feeling, that soul in a rivalry where the two teams just clash with their fans. They just there's a lack of respect or understanding of the position in life. And I don't know if I'm being too grand here, but I kind of sense that.
No, I think you're nailing it. I mean, you talk about the, this is something that we've gone through, again, like I say, ebbs and flows, like just us being on Twitter, back and forth on social media, things like that. We've had our share of Rockies fans come after us for some things over the years. We've had our share of Diamondbacks fans come after us over the years, but there's never been a time where this level of trash talk from Padres fans and back and forth from both sides between Dodgers fans and Padres fans. And I think you definitely nailed it. The intensity is definitely there. The lack of respect for one another is definitely there. It does, in that sense, remind me of when the Giants were very good, because when the Giants were very, very good, it was we were not speaking from a position of authority. And so the only thing that you could do is just attack their personality. What else can you do?
That was coming out of the Frank McCourt era, which was a nightmare for Dodgers fans. But at
least you were in a great Curb episode because of that era.
That's true. Yeah, we made it. We did it.
And that's what's really important about getting, it's that Hollywood lifestyle right there.
Yeah.
Shout out Anthony Rendon for the win there. But no, really, it's as Dodger fans and people who cover the team day to day, you want this, you live for this, you do want competition for the Dodgers. We saw what happened last year. The Dodgers didn't really have all that great of competition throughout the year. They got their ass handed to them for, the first few games against the Braves, first real team, first real competition you face. But just getting that intra-divisional rivalry and the back and forth and the trash talking, it makes baseball more exciting, especially for a team like LA. It's going for 9 in a row. Winning never gets boring, but at some point you're just like, okay, we'll walk into the postseason and take off.
Right, and that's the funny part of it, because there are some franchises that would never use the word "but" after winning never gets boring, and that's what Padre fans probably latch onto, and they're like, these guys, like, what are we doing? But this is what I love about baseball, though, because at Duke, Carolina, you play twice a year in basketball, and the NBA rivalries really heat up in the postseason, and they're sort of player driven, I think, more than anything. And the NFL, it's twice a year. You get Giants, Eagles, or whatever rivalry you want to pick. For baseball, like, normally you're not going to win 19 against one team. So there's always a reason to say, oh, we got you there. We did this to you. But, like, this is why I get excited that our crew gets to do this game, because, like, Petriello's jumping out of bed every morning. He's got 2 kids, and he's like, they're barely getting breakfast because we have Padres Dodgers.
Yeah.
Like, he's an amazing guy. Like, we're all juiced to do this game because there's so much behind it. And right. I think it's sort of like the reverse East Coast bias situation. A lot of baseball fans are now loving ending their day, especially when you guys play each other.
Yeah.
Like, there's been a lot of that, of I can't go to bed until this is over. And I'm glad for you guys, because never do you get that level of attention paid.
So it's very obvious that national media would still love for this to be a rivalry. And while we're not necessarily ready to call it that, I think we can all admit it's a lot more fun to watch Dodgers baseball when they're playing a very good team. And it's something that's been talked about a lot over the last couple of weeks, because I mean, since the offseason, the Dodgers swept through the Padres relatively easily through the playoffs. They gave them some fits during the regular season, but they swept through them pretty fast. It was pretty clear that they just were the superior team, and they had more depth, and they could withstand a longer season like they can't. And so you knew that when they were coming into a 162-game season, you're like, we're looking at it and going, Padres can't stand up to that. So they add talent, they add depth, they add starting pitchers, they add international free agents. They do all these things to keep pace with them, and then the Dodgers go out and say, well, we're going to get Trevor Bauer. It has nothing to do with you guys, but we're going to get Trevor Bauer. And that's, that's rough for the Padres, but also on the other hand, you're like, oh, this is going to be a really fun season. It's going to be really fun to look at. And I look at you guys and a lot of what you guys are saying, and the general consensus that I can see is that you guys don't believe this is a rivalry, which I would 100% agree with.
Rivalries take... Rivalries. Sorry, I didn't mean to mess it up for you. Rivalries. Get it right. Take the other team winning for a stretch. It takes the two sides. It takes a bloodbath. It takes an actual, maybe few fights. I mean, I would argue, and it really wasn't then, I would argue they were closer, the Dodgers and Padres were closer to a rivalry when Puig got thrown at the head, and then Greinke got thrown.
Right.
Wait, the Greinke one, I think those were might have been against the Diamondbacks.
Yeah,
but still, when Greinke got his collarbone broken by Quentin, and the back and forth, the 4+1, like some of the stuff Aegon told, and we talked about with Aegon in the offseason, how just those games were a lot more fun, and the Padres were looking at the Dodgers or they weren't even considering the Dodgers that important. It's like, okay, yeah, you guys won that one game, whatever it was. They still went on to win the division and all that. So
right,
win a division, win a couple, make the Dodgers, embarrass the Dodgers, make them become the Dodgers' daddy, whatever it is. You're far. You're not there yet. I would love to see them try. They are trying with money, as people have said. In the comments, but
the biggest indication to me, I mean, there's a lot of different things that you can measure a rivalry with, whatever you want to do, but the biggest indication to me is that there is legitimate bad blood in there. And what I mean by that is no matter how bad the other team is, there is still bad blood. And that's just not the case with the Padres. That has not been the case over the years. The Padres have been very bad for a very long time, and they've never been thought of as a rival or even mentioned in the conversation until they all of a sudden got good. When you can show me the Padres being a very bad team and this hate still being there, we can have a conversation. But I think we are a very long way away from that. I think we were a very, we need some wins from them. We need to see a playoff win, first of all. Like, just one, that'd be a good start. Just one. I would take just one in the actual, division series playoff win. Congrats on your wild card, by the way. Congrats on that. Big deal for you. But I don't want to jump the gun on that. And
we thank Jason for the time this afternoon. Tune into the Statcast broadcast on ESPN2. It will definitely be a really cool alternative for some of you folks that like the maybe the more numbers, maybe the more analytic driven approach to it. Of course, Mike Petriello is part of that broadcast, and he's fantastic. He's sort of become the he's not quite the godfather of Statcast, but with the numbers as they've increased and grown and whatever, he's great at it. And Eddie Perez is solid as a color man, as long as it's not him and Ravi doing it apart for a 3 a.m. KBO game. But most importantly, it's a great alternative to A-Rod and Matt Vasgersian. Tune in to ESPN2 on Sunday.
That's mostly a knock on A-Rod. A-Rod, you suck. Everything about you sucks.
And Vasgersian's serviceable at best.
Generic.
With all due respect.
Yeah.
Anyways.
None to A-Rod. No due respect.
Some lineup news. Give people the lineup news.
Okay, well, everybody's getting scratched. We already had the news earlier today. There was the initial lineup that came out, and then you get a little bit of a last-minute shuffle, a little bit of a rotation. Chris Taylor comes out of the lineup. They got to move Z-Mac into the outfield. And then just a couple minutes ago, Z-Mac gets the boot out of the lineup with apparently this also lower back tightness, which I think is what they had said about Chris Taylor. So I'm not sure what happened. I don't know what was happening. I don't want to speculate too much. I have my ideas.
I'll speculate.
Our ideas. Go ahead.
They probably got their shot.
I'm assuming they probably got their vaccines and they're feeling a little sore. I got mine yesterday. I'm feeling a little sore in my arm. So I would definitely personally not be able to play in a baseball game right now. That has nothing to do with my shot. I just would not be able to play in a baseball game right now.
Yeah, because you're doing a show and you're a professional.
So Luke Raley moves into the outfield. Odd matchup for him against Ryan Weathers. But he is a good fastball hitter. Luke Raley is. So there's good stuff there. But it also just goes to show you that, number one, the Dodgers are hurting,
Stacked.
but number two, just flat out stacked.
The worst part about Zach Attack McKinstry not being in the lineup is we don't get to see or hear which of the two Creed options he went through for his new walk-up song. He crowdsourced his new walk-up song for this coming homestand, and he had two Creed options, which is just Zach.
I see Rich Hill Blister in the comments. I need to know what he thinks about Zach McKinstry's Creed options, first of all, because look, Creed is a what are we calling Creed?
Bad? Yeah. Not good? Not enjoyable?
They're Nickelback on par. About the same. That's a bad choice.
Double it up, baby. Let's go. It didn't win, thankfully.
I think they both came in last.
Yeah, because Creed.
It's Creed. Yeah.
Creed is universally like accepted as one of those Nickelback brand of bands, just bad. At me, Creed. But don't at me the way that Trapped guy was in the offseason. Remember that Trapped kid? Band Trapped?
Yeah, those guys. Yeah. Well, don't do that.
Yeah, he got real creepy in the offseason on some people. And then their account got suspended. Anyways.
Look at this graph.
Look at this graph. Moving on. Southpaw struggles. Okay, so as much crap as the Dodgers got for, air quote, lining up their rotation against the Dodgers last week, Padres have now sort of, it laid out this way. It was planned well. Both teams did set themselves up a certain way because they knew they were going to face off for 7 games in 10 days or whatever the hell it is. Ooh, let's kick Renee right out. It says Creed rules. I'm just messing with you, Renee. Po Buddy's nerfed or whatever. But
there's not a shirt that says Creed rules, by the way. That is not in existence.
No, it's Creed rules, throw them all out. Burn all the CDs. Take it. If you have it in your iTunes, just destroy if you have it in your Zune, I guess that makes sense.
Zune. That adds up. Yeah.
If you have your Sansa SanDisk or whatever the hell it is. Anyways, The both teams have essentially lined themselves up for this series. The Dodgers will be facing 2 Padre left-handed pitchers, and
not Chris Paddack,
which is just, for us, I think they're doing it specifically for us. Hingle McTingleberry, the manager of the San Diego Padres, is a big-time friend of the show. He's a fan, clearly, watches us. He does not want you specifically to see Chris Paddack face the Dodgers.
Listen, he knows what I've done to his career single-handedly. They know what I have done to that man. Before I latched onto him, he was a shining star on his way to the moon. I don't think stars travel to the moon, but we're going to use that as an example. And then I latched onto him, and there was just something I didn't like about. You know what I didn't like about him?
Yeah,
it wasn't really anything else that he had done at the time. He dressed like a cowboy, which I didn't like that. He's in San Diego. Relax, buddy. Didn't like that. But also, people were like, "This is the next Clayton Kershaw. He's the right-handed, better Clayton Kershaw." And I was like, "Okay, now you started a fire. Congratulations, you just ruined yourself." And now look at him, human garbage that they can't even start against the Padres or against the Dodgers because he's just that good. He's just that terrible. That's all he is. He's garbage, human garbage. Tell his agent to come after me again. His agent said, "Look at his high school stats." And I'm like, hey, "Congratulations, dude. Look at my high school stats. I batted .450 in high school. Where did that get me? Huh? Here, doing podcasts, talking about your stupid freaking client."
In your face, sucker.
Back to you in the studio.
Bitch.
Oh, man. We do love ourselves some Chris Paddack around here, I tell you what.
If he ever finds me, I'm in trouble.
Oh, yeah. I want to get him and that number 4 starter and Mike Clevenger together.
Oh, yeah. I don't think they're going to like me.
Oh, man. We have a very important poll here I want to drop from our boy Hamill. It's as if, I'm going to make it into a poll instead because we got, San Diego Rap Boy. You, gun to your head, you have to pick. I know.
Hillary.
Hillary. Hold on, I gotta mute the Slack. Get out of the way, Slack. Sorry, business. You know how it goes. You have to pick between, gun to your head, walk out song. It's a Creed song, or it's the San Diego Boys rapping for you. That's it.
Definitely the San Diego Boys rapping for me.
Now, which hit smash hit are you taking? You taking their California Love abortion?
Yeah.
Or you're not going to go?
I'm definitely not taking the most recent.
The Eminem one?
No, I'm definitely not taking that one. I mean, did you see his swing during that video? Maybe I'll just play the swing on a loop. Like that's just all that I'll play in it. Yeah.
All right, anyways, back on track. Dodgers not goodly against left-handed throwermen. They're back at it again. I don't know what the numbers are. Last year, the eye test and what my brain hole remembers is that we were better, communist sense, we were better against left-handed pitching in 2020 in the Mickey Mouse season, as they like to call it. Once again, Dodgers not doing so hot. Let's look at some numbers here, courtesy of our friend Mr. Brian Robitaille. Check out the latest article on our DodgersNation.com. It's a cool look into how bad the Dodgers are against left-handed pitching. So there you go. Subscribe to DodgersNation.com. Dodgers, third highest team OPS right now in baseball, 778 OPS with a weighted runs created plus of 116, which is good. The splits, though, Dodgers top the National League with an 828 OPS. Nearly, I think it's more than 140 points lower against left-handed pitching. A 682 OPS against left-handed pitching, which is 10th in the National League. They're hitting less than 220 against them, slugging 367. Long story short, not good numbers.
Marco Gonzalez pretty much shut him down. That's no disrespect to Marco.
Another left-handed thing. Yeah, it's. I don't know. I mean, are they? Mookie's in that same thing. He was 0 for his first 7 or something like that against left-handed pitching. He got a couple of hits off Marco.
Yeah, I mean, he just has the most absurd reverse splits.
Since coming to LA.
It's just not something that you expect. Yeah, it is since coming to LA. But also, A.J. Pollock is supposed to be very good against left-handed pitching. But overall, he just is not great this year. It's not necessarily that he's not hitting left-handed pitching. He's just not hitting at all. Yeah. So there's a lot of things that come with it. Over the past couple of years, our numbers have been helped a little bit, I think, because of polo.
Our numbers have been helped. It's called COVID, not polio.
Yeah, sorry. I mixed them up. Vaccines. Vaccine brain. I don't know how to fix this. I don't know if there's necessarily a way to fix this, but I have a suggestion.
Oh.
I think that they should bat more left-handed batters against left-handed pitching and just see what happens at this point, because it can't be that much worse.
No, because look at what happened to Jock in Chicago.
No. I didn't. No. Nobody is Jock. Nobody hits like Jock against left-handed pitching.
Rest in peace.
Nobody
Jock.
hits like Jock against left-handed pitching.
Yeah, they gave him.
I love you.
They gave him magical wristitis just to get him some time on the bench because,
he's hitting 0.08 or something. I don't know what he's hitting. He's not hitting well.
But is this that thing we talked about throughout the offseason? The Dodgers talked about also that they needed a right-handed batter. Is this that offseason worry coming to fruition? There's too many left-handed batters, and the Dodgers aren't necessarily well equipped to combat some of the quality left. I mean, you would almost think that the Padres went out and got Blake Snell specifically for the Dodgers, and I mean he had a pretty good resume, a pretty good interview process there in the World Series against them. Just saying.
I mean, it's good. It's the same concept of when the Dodgers went out and signed Joe Kelly because they're like, hey, that guy was really good against us. We should take him away. And then they were like, that's a good idea. And then not a good idea. Did not work out. But maybe it'll work out better for the Padres.
My question or my biggest request is, does somebody have David Freese's phone number? Because that dude probably can still just come and hit.
Still just roll out of bed. And
give me Freezer.
Pitching. He's not going to run to second, by the way.
Just give me Freezer.
He's got metal feet.
Hashtag Freezer return 2021. Let's go. But it's interesting. I'm sure they'll work on something. They'll figure something out. But it's just one of those notes to kind of look at. And yeah.
Congrats. I don't know. What do you guys got?
Segue. There it is. All right. So we were going to keep today short because we've been here all day and we're tired.
We should have a segue animation.
There's that bat, but people got mad at Doug for overusing the bat.
Doug.
I don't have a bat crack. I got there it is. All right, we wanted to make fun of the we got Norma saying Russell Martin. I'll take it.
Oh, Russell the muscle.
Pollock, Noisy, Rayleigh, 0 for 14. Nice. That's good. Also, you know what's sad?
Huh?
Just everything. But
my body.
But I wanted to find a way to bring in our boy Matt Beatty because I feel bad for Matt Beatty. I miss him. He deserves a chance somewhere. It's not going to be here in LA. So this is my petition. Dodgers, just trade Matt Beatty. Let the boy play somewhere.
Trade him to the Yankees. They need a lot of help right now.
We're killing this, guys. We're killing this, crushing this. I mean, still better than like most podcasts. Anyways, we
like
wanted
the
to
Yankees
laugh.
podcast.
We wanted to laugh at some of these kids these days with their disbanding the Dodgers. So I'm sure everybody saw this. I think it was over the weekend or whatever. Somebody actually started a petition, change.org, to disband the Dodgers, and it has 41 signatures out of 100. They only want to get to 100. And the petition is, the Dodgers are too good. It's not fair. They should be forced to get rid of 3 starting players in order to achieve competitive balance. And one could argue against that in saying they have. I mean, Cody's out. Mookie's been hurt off and on. They pulled CT, who's been a starter. They pulled McKinstry today, who's been basically a starter all season. Gavin Lux is out with a wrist. We've done our part, Mr. Petition.
Do you just take apart the Dodgers? What do? Do you ship the players off around the league and put them in a lottery-style raffle?
Is it like a...
Based on how bad you are is how many entries
sale?
you get into the raffle?
Maybe an estate sale.
Maybe you just come in and shop around for the players. You go to their locker, take their jersey.
Yeah, so if you take that, it's packaged.
What do we do with Dodger Stadium? And it's just a venue.
Yeah. No, because they got to get in there. They got to get into the place. So it's in the Dodger Stadium. It's in Dodger Stadium. It's in the locker room. That's where you see all the stuff. You see the player. They're just sitting there in front of their locker, and you have to barter to see what that. I mean, like some people call it trading, but yeah, that's funny. The kids are cute.
Makes you feel good. Makes you feel good about your team. It's one of those. It's one of those things where you see it and you're like, yeah, we are good. Huh? We're good at baseball. And then you lose one of the Mariners, but Mariners are good too.
It did get me thinking though, because that came out, and then I think that came out before the Dodgers lost that first game, or the third game in San Diego, and then they lost the first one in Seattle. So, and I'm pretty sure. I saw it somewhere online. I'm pretty sure it was one of the Franks talking about it too. So I had the concept of, as Ray says, can't win them all. We're on pace for like I think it's like 130 wins or something stupid right now.
Many wins.
It's not going to happen. So are the Dodgers just as good, or is it that combination of bad teams and some bad luck? And how will we, as fans, as Dodger people, and the flip side, how will baseball deal with it? At some point, the Dodgers are going to go on a losing streak. Things are going to go bad. That's what they do. That's baseball. That's just the ups and downs, the ebbs and flows of the game. How do we deal with it? How do you deal with the Dodgers being bad, maybe losing 8 of 10 or something?
Well, the good news is this is my outlet. This is also your guys' outlet, because it's a lot of fun to know that I'm not in the same place as you guys mentally sometimes. Sometimes I come into it's one of those things where you come into a podcast after winning 7 games and then losing 1, and you get to see fire Dave Roberts as the first comment. and then you get to know, like, okay, well, I'm not there. So at least I got that going for me. But this is a good place for me to let off steam and to yell at people that I don't like or appreciate. And I get to do that because this is our podcast. So I can say whatever I want on here as long as Grandma's not listening.
But then we get the cucks in the comments, or not even in the comments. And usually when people are really mad and stupid, that's when you'll go and see the bad reviews or whatever, because they're idiots.
We have a lot of bad reviews on our podcast, and I guarantee you,
I haven't
almost 100% of them are all Padres fans. If you guys weren't around for last season, let's say, they took a couple clips of us and made them go viral in Padres Twitter, which we appreciate because we got a lot of view counts on that. Beautiful. I mean, we haven't seen that kind of action on a single clip of ours that also was not processed by one of us. But good to see. Good to see that happen. Good to see the hate flow through you. I can't walk through San Diego anymore, I don't think. I think I will be recognized, and not in a good way. I don't get recognized by anybody in the Dodger world out here, but I mean, I think Padres fans would probably track me down.
It's a good call, but also we haven't been to a game.
No, that's true. I'm
interested to see where the world was closed.
It's been 2019 is the last time I was at a ball game. So I mean, we've also grown a lot since then. So, I don't know. We might be recognized at ball games now, guys. We could be at that level. There was one time where a guy was like, I know you. And he couldn't remember where he knew me from. Sad times.
I think Kevin's still more famous than you right now. It's just also still more famous than me because I don't get noticed. How do you not notice me?
Kevin has the hair.
Is that what that's supposed to be? You have the hat. You have the nose.
I do have the nose. Recognizable from a long way away.
You need the mullet.
I'm working on it. It takes a while to grow.
Mrs. Brook, earmuffs.
Earmuffs. I don't think she's listening. I think she's at Pilates.
I had a girl.
Loser.
I guess it's been a while. We should dig into it. Some of our most recent reviews. We love some of the favorite reviews here. Why not? Because we're just filling time. We're having fun.
You guys are hanging out.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
You can laugh with us.
Again, at some point, guys, the whole idea of a podcast is about having some form of personality and whatever. We're not Spectrum News. We're not beholden to the Dodgers, and we're not here to just necessarily give you, the Dodgers are hurt right now. I mean, you see some of these kids with just awful, bland, boring attempts, and no. We're here to talk. We're here to have some fun. We're here to drink some brew doggies, and we're here to read Steve Rodriguez's review. You got it? Go for it.
Steve's is
you
good.
Read so much more good.
The comment, the title just says why, which, first of all, great start. Can you give lower than 1 star, by the way?
I wish.
You can't? Okay, we just got the lowest one then, 1 star. He says, not funny, not informative. It's basically just fart jokes. Which I don't think we do many fart jokes. We don't even have a fart button.
No way.
Untalented people. Social media team is trash. There's no way anyone takes this seriously. Dodgers fans need a good podcast. This is Pantone 294, but for dumber people, 0 out of 10. But guess what, Steve? You cuck. You gave us 1 star, so that means 1 out of 5, which means 2 out of 10. You bitch. There's your fart joke for the day.
All right, I got like $20 that Steve is a either like
Padres fan.
He's a Padres fan, or he's
podcast.
like 74, and his grandchildren taught him how to use the internet.
We were told today by a fan that listens to ours that his parents listen to us, and they're in their
really
70s,
cool.
And they really enjoy us. In fact, they had recommended us to him. So we appeal to all generations because we span time. I don't know.
And we're not out here trying to pander for praise or whatever. We're not that other brand that had a nuclear meltdown because
I actually
somebody was off his meds.
Prefer the bad comments because I get to have a little bit of a laugh out of them.
And yeah, you guys kill it in the comments, by the way. We appreciate the love. Ever Avila. My bad.
I just want to know who this one is referring to. From Ruben over on one of the reviews, gave us 2 stars, by the way.
I was reading it positive before we get into the negative. Ever Avila, Avila, whatever. I'm messing that up right now.
Really
on Periscope, saying hands down my favorite Dodgers podcast. There are others that indeed lack personality, and I think that's the majority of them. We're idiots.
We are so dumb.
We're Dodgers news meets morning show zoo.
That's true. We are kind of like morning talk radio type of personalities. I think we would do better at that, to be honest with you, because you don't have to see our faces. But
you guys remember when Heidi and Frank were good?
Remember when Frosty was there?
Oof. Rip. He just
remember when it was good and Mark and Brian used to do it? Oh, man.
Anyways,
it's been a minute.
we got
Ruben says, not that many Dodger podcasts out there, but this one in particular gives me a vibe of two bros in a man cave dishing out takes that are sometimes not thought out so well, which I would agree with, to be fair. Very accurate. This is the good one, because I don't know who he's referring to. One of the hosts kind of lets his personal hatred of players get in the way of actually delivering news and takes.
Man, that's got to be you. My vote is you.
I don't hate anybody except Chris Paddack. Who else do I hate? I actually do hate a lot of people.
Do I hate players? I don't think I hate players. Ruben, you let us know who you're talking about, and we'll send you some stickers. It might be of like Little Mermaid or something like that. But
you have Little Mermaid stickers?
I think Mrs. FRG gave them all away to somebody. But otherwise, mostly phenomenal comments and reviews. We appreciate y'all. Whenever you do leave something nice, it's been a while since we've been on here, so there's a number of new ones. We'll have to dig in and give you some more.
Calvin's a big fan of me angry.
Calvin says Brook is on one, LMFAO.
He said also aggressive. Brook is mad funny.
Yeah. Good time.
Yeah. I have to have a few drinks in me before I can be a little over the top, but once I do, we get rolling.
Kate, I don't hate you. What, Josh Reddick?
Sorry, I don't hate big leaguers. I don't hate big league ball players. His wife, Jet talked about him playing with a bunch of minor league pitchers, and look at him now playing with a bunch of minor league pitchers. Stupid Jet. What kind of name is Jet?
That's the sound of
kind of name is Brook for a guy.
Where's that girl? Hey, keep that energy.
Where's that girl Brook at?
Anyways. Are we still having fun? I'm having. I haven't
had fun in years.
like somebody, and there's always going to be that Steve type of guy who pops on a show like this and listens to one. And I mean, how do you jump into episode 191, 192, and be like, "Oh, these people have personality. I don't like it."
How many episodes are we at?
This is 192.
Listen, guys, we've done almost 200 episodes of this. We're not going to be invested in every single episode because sometimes there is just nothing to talk about, and sometimes there's just nothing to do,
Hey, 200 is coming up. Let's crowdsource. What do you guys want us to do for episode 200? Do you have some different ideas?
I had recommended that we get absolutely blasted, and we have to Uber home. That's option one. But also that could go downhill real quick.
What the problem is? Because we don't have a dump button.
We'll have to go to like the uncensored version where we won't get flagged or something like that.
that episode will have to be on OnlyFans, so make sure you subscribe. OnlyFans.com/DodgersNation.boobs. Is that a thing?
That's not a thing. We don't put that in there. No.
Wait.
Billy Brown said, "Bring Josh Reddick on 200."
Let's go.
We should bring him on pretending like we've been really big fans of him since he wasn't with the Dodgers and just hope he doesn't do any research and then just attack him from the get.
Ryan says get Doug in for the mega episode. Oh, yeah, for sure. Doug went and got shot up, too. I don't know if it was heroin or COVID, but whatever it is, he'll be in here for episode 200. If it's
whatever it is, he's down for the day.
Maybe we should do something where we have, I mean, we're totally air quote big enough, right? We can have force people to get COVID checked beforehand and do one at the cheese bread place.
Yeah.
Let's go cheese bread. Gary, we're going to cheese bread place. I don't know.
No one's coming. We'll just be there.
Yeah, it's just us. We're going to sit at a table. Be really awkward. I think that'll be fun. Why not?
There's a lot of things that we could do. Caroline apparently really liked boobs, and I would really appreciate it.
I mean, who doesn't?
No, I mean, it would just of all the things to pick out, Caroline really liked the boobs one.
Duncan says episode 200 recorded in the stands. Ooh, I don't know. Maybe we might get shut down. The Dodgers only pay attention to what we do, but not anybody else, apparently. So we get hit up when we do something that's maybe against copyright.
Imagine a paint brand making jerseys. Imagine, if you will. Odd. So odd. Marco says, bring Gary for the love of Tommy. Yeah, we'll probably have to have Gary around for episode 200. Gary's an integral part of the show.
Gary and Doug fight to the death.
Cage match.
2021. Be there
to decide who's the new Doug.
You got original Doug and new Doug.
You really got to stick around for all 200 episodes to figure out what the hell we're talking about. I will give you that when people say that we have too many inside jokes. Give you that one.
Get Mookie on episode 200. Oof. Jamie,
relax.
Jamie raised a dollar on Gary. I think, Gary's scrappy.
I think Gary could definitely take Doug in a fight.
Oh yeah, Gary's scrappy, and he's an angry boy. He's got a lot of anger.
Yeah. He's got some fists.
Fists of fury. Jamie says get an interview with Ross Stripling. We definitely need to get Strip back on. It's been a while. We haven't got him since a little bit after he was traded to Anaheim. You guys remember that?
I think we accidentally made the Anaheim trade not happen, actually. So congratulations. Carolyn also says, I'm high. So that's why Carolyn thought the boobs were funny. Well, everything's funnier like that.
Well, it is 420, too.
Dos.
Nod awkwardly. All right, guys. I think that's about time to wrap it up. We got a game coming up in about an hour thereabout, and I got to drive home. So it's gonna be fun. We'll figure something out. We got a few more weeks before 200, but if you guys have any ideas, add us at Blue Heaven Pod. We'll check those out or DM us, whatever the hell it is. We'll come up with something. I think it'll be fun. And definitely the cage match. That's important.
We need ideas. That's what we're getting to.
There will be blood. That's all we're saying. Until then, find us on the internet at DodgersNation.com. Subscribe to Blue Heaven. It's on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, all the spots your podcasts are available. Hey, make sure you leave us a delicious review on there. We want to read them here on air because why not? No Mo FOMO's going to leave us a good rating. We appreciate that, One guy didn't like us because we think humans deserve to be treated fairly, so that's weird. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/DodgersNationTV. Hit that notification bell. You're going to be so effing glad you did.
If you leave a review, make sure it's good, but also make sure it's funny. Way better that way. Don't tell anybody that we're actually good at what we do. That's a lie.
Norma says Vin Scully. I don't think we could pull that off. Santiago says video calls from viewers.
Interesting. Maybe we can hold a sweepstakes for viewers and figure it out. Guys, I am at BrookMe3. He is at RealFRG. We're both on Twitter and Instagram. Go check us out. Follow us on there. Maybe follow you back if you're enjoyable enough. If not, no hard feelings. Sorry. We're at Dodgers Nation on Twitter, at Official Dodgers Nation on Instagram. Go check us out there as well for the latest news, breaking and not breaking, whatever that means. We appreciate your comments. We appreciate your questions. Screw Chris Paddack. Go Dodgers. See you Monday.
Bye.